How was that one? Everybody heard that? Tell me you're rolling. All right, November is upon us. Another happy Tuesday. In most places other than Florida where there's winter, I like soup and I love mushrooms to make soup with. So today we're gonna make a beef and wild mushroom barley soup. If you go back to my original video of stocks, you can see that I have a beef stock here. This is what beef stock looks like when it's ice cold right out of the refrigerator. This big chunk of white is a layer of fat. This fat is gonna help protect the stock until you go and use it. I'm also gonna take the beef fat and saute my vegetables and beef into it while I make the soup. Today we chose a beef chuck shoulder tender. This is a cut of meat that sits underneath the front shoulder of beef. It's a lean cut, similar to filet mignon, because it's a muscle that doesn't get used very often, but it's not filet mignon. You can grill it, slice it. I do it all the time. This one I diced up because obviously we're making soup. I'm gonna use 3 different kinds of oyster mushrooms. I have my golden oyster mushrooms that are done here in Florida. I have my regular oyster mushrooms that you see all the time in Chinese food and whatnot. And then I have my gray oyster mushrooms. These are from California. They're all cultivated slash farm raised. I like the texture of the 3 oyster mushrooms, and I love the flavor. It has that meaty mushroom, November-esque. We're gonna scent our soup with, I took barley, white pearl barley. This is a superfood that gets overlooked. You can eat this for breakfast, a little bit of milk, some sugar, some cinnamon, and a nice replacement for oatmeal. This particular one, I'm gonna make a beef barley soup. I'm gonna then use shaved Brussels sprouts as a garnish, and then finish it with fresh thyme. So I'm gonna take a trusty scissor. Any scissor will do. I just happen to have a heavy duty one. And what we're gonna do is, because we don't wanna lose the integrity of the mushroom, we're just gonna take our scissor and we're gonna cut off the tops so that everybody knows what kind of soup we're making. See, all these little nice mushroom pieces. This stem, we're gonna keep this. These make wonderful stocks. And then I'm gonna do the same to the other ones. Again, I wanna keep the integrity of the mushroom because I want you to know what we're making. Is it soup yet? This soup pot gotta be hot because I wanna put some color on the beef, and I wanna put some color on my mushrooms, and I wanna put some color on the vegetables. All that color I talk about, caramelization, will give this soup that rich, dark flavor that we so desire. Remember what I was talking about? Beef fat. So we're gonna make the soup with the fat because I want everything to taste like beef. A little bit more than you wouldn't wanna use normally because the mushrooms are gonna soak up all that flavor. We're gonna start with our beef, spread it out, get it browning. At the same time, I'm gonna put in our mushrooms. As you can see, all of the fat is being soaked up by those spongy little beauties, my oyster mushrooms. Once that gets rolling, we're gonna add our mirepoix, celery, onions, carrots, garlic, and I also have some cooked potatoes. The thing is now that the mushrooms soaked up all that nice fat, I'm gonna put just a little bit more so I can get some color on my veggies. Don't be afraid. I'm nobody's doctor. It's a holiday time. Put some fat in it. Put some fat on your face. Now's the time I start taking the fat off of my stock because if I don't, I'm going to use it all in my soup. Don't go throwing it away so fast. You might want it, you might need it. All right, we got some caramelization going. I'm gonna add my shaved Brussels sprouts. I'm then gonna deglaze it with some white wine. I want to pick up all that fat caramelization that I worked so hard to achieve. We give that a stir. We turn up the heat because we want to reduce the alcohol. We don't want that bitter alcohol flavor in it. We're gonna add our beef stock. That was the beef stock for my short ribs. So if there's any little bit of short rib pieces in there, it's a beautiful thing. Let it be. Look what I found, a big one. Since that's already cooked, by the time this whole thing gets hot, there'll be some shred in there too, so you'll have two different kinds of meats going on. We're gonna add a little bit of thyme. Careful when you season this because you have braised short rib liquid, which you seasoned already. So that's why I haven't added any salt yet. We're getting there, we're getting there. Soup sometimes takes a little bit more time. It's exactly what we're looking for. So after we come to a boil, we're gonna turn it down. We're gonna add the white barley to it. Try to find a big chunk of short rib in there. Break it up a little bit so everybody gets a piece of it. See how the bubbles are getting thick? That's what we want. That's how fast that barley starch starts acting. Let's see what we got. Woo, mushroom barley soup. Look at that. Make it pretty. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna finish it with truffle oil because anything that with mushrooms, truffle oil only enhances the flavor. And I give you beef barley wild mushroom soup.